Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I am holding the microphone. If you can't hear the microphone, because this goes to the camera, just so you know. We're excited to welcome you to Loyola University Chicago. We'll do some introductions quickly, and then we'll talk about what we're going to talk about this morning. So my name is Lester Manzano. I'm Assistant Dean in the College of Arts and Sciences.
Good morning, my name is Lauren Sanchez. I'm the Senior Academic Advisor in the College of Arts and Sciences.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shauna Cooper Gibson. I serve as the Assistant Dean in the School of Communication.
Hi, everyone. I also work with Dr. Cooper Gibson in the School of Communication, and I'll be helping out as well today.
All right, so you should be in this room if you are entering the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Communication, the School of Education, the School of Social Work, or the Health Systems Management or Exercise Science programs within the School of Nursing. If anyone here is entering the Quinlan School of Business, they have a different presentation, and so one of our orientation leaders can escort you there if that's the case. All right, so what are we going to talk about this morning? We're going to talk about Loyola as a university. We're going to talk about your core curriculum requirements and how your transfer courses will count toward requirements here at the university. We'll discuss some school-specific requirements, and then we'll talk about some reminders and expectations of our new students. How many of you are excited to be here this morning? All right, great. All right, so who can tell me what makes a university a university? Or what makes a university a university? Accreditation, okay. So universities, Loyola is regionally accredited, which makes it able to transfer credits out and accept transfer credits. Yeah.
Collection of colleges that specialize in different things.
Right, so there's a collection of colleges and schools that specialize in different areas. So we have multiple colleges and schools that make up the university.
There are master's and PhD programs, not just bachelor's.
Absolutely. So we have degrees up through the doctoral degree here at the university. So in addition to bachelor's degrees, we offer master's degrees as well as doctoral degrees. That's another hand over here. What else?
Student community.
The student community, absolutely. So you're going to be part of that student community in terms of what makes this university a university. So someone mentioned that we're composed of multiple colleges and schools. The College of Arts and Sciences, in addition to these other schools, make up the university. As an undergraduate student coming in as a transfer student, you are entering one of these undergraduate schools. So the College of Arts and Sciences is the largest of those schools, but you're also entering either the School of Communication or the School of Education, the School of Social Work. You're entering one of those schools now, but if later on down the line you decide that you want to switch your major to another major within a different school, you do have the option of applying for internal transfer. And as long as you meet those admissions requirements, then they would be able to admit you to that other school. All right, so our faculty here at the university are actively engaged in research. So they're not just teachers who are teaching your classes, they're involved with scholarly work. So they're teaching as well as doing research in their disciplines. We have state-of-the-art facilities here on campus. Some of you will be visiting, or all of you will be visiting the Information Commons later this afternoon where you'll be registering. We have a university-wide core curriculum, and our core curriculum is central to your education here at the university. So regardless of what school you're entering, you are required to complete requirements for our core curriculum, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And we have a diverse student population, so we talked about how you're going to be part of that population as well, and you as transfer students add to that diversity and those experiences. Fortunately, Loyola was founded here in 1870 as St. Ignatius College. Fortunately, it was not affected by the Great Fire in 1871, but as Chicago grew, so did Loyola. You're here at the Rogers Park campus, known as Lakeshore Campus, which is our main residential campus. It's home to the College of Arts and Sciences and administrative offices for the School of Nursing. At the Water Tower campus, located on Michigan Avenue, that's home to our School of Communication, our School of Education, our Quinlan School of Business, our School of Social Work. We have the Health Sciences campus out in Maywood, which is home to our School of Medicine, as well as our nursing school. And we have the John Felice Rome Center in Italy. Loyola is also the host university for the Beijing Center for Chinese Study. We opened up our Vietnam Center last year.
All right, so now I'm going to speak about the core curriculum. So if you have that purple sheet that we handed out this morning, go ahead and get that out because you'll reference it a lot through this part of the presentation. So as was mentioned, the core curriculum is the center of your Loyola education. And in saying that, what we mean here is you're going to hone in and sharpen a lot of different skills through the courses that you'll take as part of this curriculum. So this is where you're going to learn how to speak and write effectively, to make logical arguments, critical analysis, all of these type skills are going to be sharpened through the core curriculum. So just know that you're going to be able to take courses in a variety of disciplines that are going to ultimately benefit your major work and the rest of your education, as this being part of the center of your education here at Loyola. So we first want to talk about the core knowledge areas, and I'll go through each and kind of speak about each requirement as well as the majors that may be exempt from that area of the course. So kind of pay attention as we go through and see where your major might fall and what area that might exempt you from as being part of that major. So first of all, we have the college writing seminar. You can see that listed at the very top of this purple sheet that we handed out to you. This is our writing seminar that we call UCWR 110, Writing Responsibly. As a transfer student, a lot of times you will find that you may have transferred this course in. For example, let's say you took Composition 1 and Composition 2 at your prior institution. That would fulfill our writing requirement here at Loyola. But let's say you took Composition 1 and you never got around to taking Composition 2, then you would be required to take our UCWR 110 here at Loyola. And this afternoon when you meet with an academic advisor, he or she will be able to tell you if you still need to meet this requirement as well as all of the other ones in core. The next requirement we have here is artistic knowledge and experience. You can see here it's one 3-credit course or at least 3 credit hours. So if you notice under artistic knowledge and experience, there are some courses that say they're worth 1 credit, some courses that say they're worth 2 credits, and then the rest are worth 3 credits. So know that if you want to take perhaps university choir, that's perfectly fine, but it's worth 1 credit, so you still need to fulfill a total of 3 credits in that area. And then notice the majors that are exempted. So by virtue of completing your art history major or your dance major, you don't have to take another artistic knowledge and experience course. And then we have historical knowledge. You need 6 credit hours here or 2 courses. Literary knowledge and experience, the same here, 6 credit hours or 2 courses. You can see the majors that are exempt from that area of core. Quantitative analysis, you need 3 credit hours here. This is basically our math requirement here at the university. A lot of students will bring in calculus or maybe even Calc 1 and Calc 2. And if you do, even though it's not listed there under quantitative analysis, we will accept that in transfer to fulfill this area. Obviously, a lot of majors are exempt in this area because a lot of majors require some kind of math component, so just kind of know going in what your requirement might be based on what your major is. And then we have philosophical knowledge. You need 2 classes there or 6 credit hours. Scientific literacy, you need 2 classes or 6 credit hours, very similar to the quantitative analysis requirement. Bio 1 and 2, chemistry 1 and 2, physics 1 and 2, etc. are not listed under scientific literacy, but if you do come in with those classes, we'll accept them and transfer to fulfill this core area. Societal and cultural knowledge, you need 6 credit hours or 2 classes, as well as theological and religious studies knowledge. And then we have our ethics requirement. And this is the last core knowledge area, and it's very special in that it's the only core knowledge area that can double dip with another one. So if you notice, there are some classes that are listed, all the classes listed under ethics are also either listed under philosophical knowledge or theological and religious studies knowledge. And then finally, on the back of that sheet, you'll notice the university requirement, that's engaged learning. And this is a special requirement required of all students across the university, but it varies in terms of what you might do. One of the things that's kind of cool about this is your opportunity to get some out-of-the-classroom experience while also earning class credit and attending a course. So let's say you're interested in doing an internship or maybe undergraduate research with a professor here at the university. Great opportunity to do this, perhaps count it towards your major, and then also fulfill the engaged learning requirement. But it's not just limited to internships and research. There's also opportunities for public performance. So if you're in one of the majors like dance or theater or music, some of the classwork that you do as part of your major could also count towards this engaged learning requirement. We're going to talk a little bit about a couple of school-specific requirements and academic policies. The first being writing-intensive course sections. And you may have heard a little bit about these, and I kind of want to distinguish what they are. Writing-intensive courses are specifically designated sections of courses across the disciplines. They can be found in pretty much every subject. They're very small class size. Your instructor has been specifically train, to teach students how to write for a more in-depth purpose. So it's not just your typical reflection paper. It could be writing for research, writing for publication, etc. As I said, very small class size, only about 20 students are in each class, so you really get the benefit of that one-on-one experience with not only your classmates, but also your instructor. They're all designated with a W in the section number. This is something that you'll kind of learn when you start performing class searches, and when you're meeting with an advisor, they might be able to show you how to search for these. And they change each semester. So students who were looking, let's say you were looking to take one next semester, in the spring semester, but all the ones that were offered weren't really of interest to you. The topics covered weren't of interest. Well, the good news is that they'll change every single semester. Another benefit here with writing intensives is that some of you have them built into your major. So if you're a history major or a psychology major, a couple of other ones, you already have one of these built into your major coursework. Here we list all the different school requirements. So you can see for arts and sciences, you take 2 writing intensive courses in any disciplines. And then the other schools you can see listed here. Robbie's in the back. Did you want to speak about the School of Education? She's our academic advisor in the School of Education.
Hi. So for school ed students, if you are a secondary education major, you're also in the College of Arts and Sciences. So that means that because the College of Arts and Sciences requires 2 writing intensives, you do have to have 2 writing intensives. It doesn't mean you have to have 3 because we have 1 and they have 2, but you do have to have the College of Arts and Sciences.
Thank you. Last thing I'll say about writing intensives is that as a transfer student, you might be exempt from one or both of these. So if you're transferring in 60 hours or more, you're exempt from one writing intensive. If you're transferring in 90 hours or more, you're exempt from both. However, if you're in a major that has one that was a requirement, you still have to complete that writing intensive as part of your meeting your major requirements for graduation. And then the last thing, we don't accept writing intensives in transfers. So if you brought in a course from your prior institution that was designated as writing intensive or had a writing emphasis, we'll still accept the credit for that course, but we're not going to count it as one of our writing intensives because what we deem writing intensive might have been different than what your prior institution does.
So our next requirement that we're going to talk about is our language requirement. And this requirement only applies to students in the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Communication, and for secondary education majors in the School of Education. Okay, so if you're in the School of Social Work or in the School of Nursing, you don't have to listen to this part of the presentation. We'll wake you up in just a minute. Everyone should have this form, or if you're in the College of Arts and Sciences, School of Communication, or secondary education majors, it's the language survey form, and we're going to have you fill that out this morning. The language requirement in the College of Arts and Sciences School of Communication is completion of one course at the 102 level in any language other than English. And so we have a great modern languages department that offers courses in Spanish, Italian, and German, and French, as well as other languages, including Hebrew and Portuguese and Russian, and so lots of different languages that you can take here at the university. We also count classical Greek and Latin as language courses that can meet this requirement as well. So again, the requirement is that you complete one course at the 102 level or higher. Okay, so that's, if you're learning a new language when you get here, you start with 101, which is the first semester, and then you continue on to 102, which is the second semester, and that meets the requirement. Some of you may have taken a placement test at home. How many of you took a placement test in the French, German, or Spanish test online? Okay. That is a placement test, and it lets you know which course you should start at if you don't have to start at 101. Okay, so if you placed into 102, you would need to take just that 102 course, and that would satisfy the requirement. If you placed into 103 or 104, which is the third semester or fourth semester level, you just need to take that one course in either of those levels, and that would meet the requirement as well. Okay? If you've taken college level coursework previously, so let's say you took a Spanish 1 and a Spanish 2 course at your previous institution, that Spanish 2 course will transfer in and count as our language requirement. Okay? The other way that students can meet the requirement is by taking what's called a language competency exam. And this exam tests students in reading, writing, and speaking a language. And it's available for students who may have taken several years of language when they were in high school and still can speak, read, and write a language, or for our students who are heritage speakers and maybe grew up already knowing how to read, write, and speak another language other than English. So if you believe that you're able to read, write, and speak at a language other than English at the 102 level, you may attempt to take our language competency exam, and those are scheduled through either the College of Arts and Sciences Dean's Office or the School of Communication Dean's Office, depending on which school you are entering. Students all have only one opportunity to take that exam, and they can only choose one language exam to take. Okay. Questions about the language requirement here at the university? All right. Great. Now, what you want to do with this language survey that was just handed out to you, go ahead and fill out your name, and your ID number should be on your badge. But let us know what your plans are. If you're thinking about taking language courses here to meet this requirement, just go ahead and mark that on the sheet there. If you have taken language courses at the 102 level or higher at your previous college or university, go ahead and make note of that there, and then we'll review that for transfer. If you're planning on taking, if you'd like to take a language competency exam in a language that you already know how to read, write, and speak, go ahead and indicate that there, and our office will contact you about scheduling that exam in person. Okay? Grading at Loyola is based on a 4.0 scale, so it's pretty traditional. An A is worth 4 points, an A minus worth 3.67, and so forth. In order for a course to count toward a requirement in the major or minor here at the university, or core, you must earn a C minus grade or higher. Okay? So if you earn a D or a D plus in a course here at Loyola, the course will not count toward requirements for the university, but it will count toward hours toward graduation. So if it's a required course for a major, for example, and you earn a D or a D plus, you'll have to repeat that course if it's a required course for the major, but you'll earn hours only once for those courses. Okay? We have a little bit of a different requirement for our School of Education students.
So for the School of Education, the State of Illinois State Board of Education requires you have a C or better for anything that is for certification. So if you're majoring in education, then all of your coursework that counts for certification, which is your major, your education coursework, anything leading to certification has to be a C or better. That includes any transfer work that you have already taken and any work at Loyola.
Your GPA will begin anew at Loyola, so we don't combine GPAs from previous institutions with your GPA here on your Loyola transcript. For your Loyola transcript, you will have a Loyola GPA. So depending on how you look at it, you either have a 0.0 or a 4.0 starting this fall. Right? In terms of academic standing, in order to remain in good academic standing within the College of Arts and Sciences, Communication, Social Work, and the Health Systems Management program, you must maintain a cumulative GPA of a 2.0. So that's a C average GPA. Now, students who drop below a 2.0 may be placed on academic probation for a semester, or, depending on their grades for that term, may be dismissed from the university. So it's important to remember that in order to remain in good standing within the College of Arts and Sciences, Communication, Social Work, you must maintain a cumulative GPA of a 2.0 or higher. And we have some requirements for the School of Education as well.
So the School of Ed students have a slightly higher GPA requirement. You must maintain a cumulative GPA of 2.5, and you also have to have a major GPA of 2.8. So, for example, if you're special ed majors, then your major courses are education. If you're secondary ed, you have a major GPA in education and also in your secondary ed. Now, we do take into account any classes that you had at another school and Loyola when you're figuring your education GPA and your major GPA.
And the School of Social Work also has a cumulative GPA requirement of 2.0, but a major coursework requirement of a 2.50. We talk about academic integrity with all of our new students because it's something that we value here at the university. Students who are found responsible for academic misconduct, including plagiarism, cheating, or lying, will receive sanctions for their academic misconduct. Those can include an F on the assignment, an F in the course itself, or referral to the dean's office, or in some cases, expulsion from the university. If you're ever in doubt whether or not something that you are doing is considered academic misconduct, consult your faculty member or your academic advisor, and we'll be able to work with you to make sure that you make the right decisions in terms of the work that you do.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about graduation requirements, how you get there, etc.
So as was mentioned earlier, you need to complete a minimum of 120 credit hours to earn a degree here at Loyola and essentially graduate. A lot of you will find that you go above and beyond that 120 credit hours in fulfilling your major. Let's say you also take on a minor as well as your core curriculum requirements. A lot of times this tends to happen with the science majors, so just something to look out for as you're moving through the curriculum. As was previously mentioned, earn a minimum 2.0 cumulative GPA, and as was mentioned, there are a little bit different requirements for the School of Education and the School of Social Work. Satisfy all core, major, and school-specific requirements, so the writing intensives that we spoke about earlier, the language requirement if you're in the School of Communication or the College of Arts and Sciences, and then meet the university's residency requirement. So that's a minimum of 64 credit hours earned at Loyola, or your last 45 credits are uninterrupted at Loyola. Uninterrupted meaning you don't attend elsewhere while you're attending Loyola. And then honors at graduation. To be eligible, you must complete at least 60 graded credit hours at Loyola. Keep in mind that means you can't take anything that's pass, no pass in those 60 credit hours. The breakdown for your summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and cum laude status is here. And then if you're interested in departmental honors, that's something that you'll want to maybe consult your faculty advisor within your major department or program. As you become a student here, a lot of students are interested in maybe doing a thesis as an undergraduate or working with a faculty member on a research project. Every department has a little bit of a different requirement for how you meet these departmental honors. So as I said, just speak with your faculty advisor or someone in your department if you're interested in doing so.
So we'll wrap up here with some reminders and expectations for our new students. Just to keep in mind, the College of Arts and Sciences, any of our programs actually do not offer evening-only programs. If you have obligations or requirements that don't allow you to take courses during the day, it might not be possible for you to complete a degree program with just taking night courses. So just keep that in mind as you're entering the College of Arts and Sciences or any of our undergraduate schools. Some of our programs are based from the College of Arts and Sciences are based at the Water Tower campus. So if you're entering the criminal justice program or the computer science department or economics, those are all based at the Water Tower campus. So keep in mind you'll likely be taking courses at both campuses there. Your Loyola email account. How many of you have already started using your Loyola email account? Okay, we should see every single student's hand raised here. This is the email account that you must use from now on. Okay, so you can stop using your Yahoo, Hotmail, Gmail, other accounts. And from now on, use your Loyola email account when you're communicating with any faculty or administrators at the university. This is the one we'll be using to send you important information and announcements, so make sure you check that email account regularly. This is important for new transfers or new students in general. Read the academic calendars and schedules online, as well as our undergraduate studies catalog. A lot of our academic policies will be different from what you're familiar with from a previous institution, so it is important that you get familiar with our undergraduate studies catalog and kind of learn what the rules and policies are for this university, because they'll be different from a previous institution. So if you experience something and you're not familiar with a policy, we can't say, well, at my previous institution it was this way. Well, it's going to be different at Loyola, so be familiar with the undergraduate studies catalog, which includes all of our rules and policies regarding academics. Our academic calendars and schedules are online, and they are set years in advance. So you can find, if you log in or go online, what our exam schedule is for the end of the semester, for example, based on your academic schedule. You'll know when all the different breaks are for the next several years based on the academics calendar online. So that's already set in advance, and we encourage you to look at that so you're familiar with our dates for the semesters. As a transfer student, a maximum of 64 semester credit hours can transfer from a community college. All of your college transcripts should be submitted to Loyola as soon as possible. Some of you may have just completed a spring term or in the middle of a summer session. Once you complete that summer session, make sure your final transcripts are submitted to Loyola so that we can consider those courses for credit and transfer. How many of you have taken advanced placement or international baccalaureate exams? Okay. So if you have done that, it's not sufficient that those scores are on your previous transcripts. We need score reports directly from the College Board or the IB organization. So make sure you contact those organizations and have your scores sent directly to Loyola if you have not already. This is an important note for our transfer students. You may not take courses at Loyola for which you have already earned credit at another institution. So if you've taken, for example, Biology 101 at a previous institution and received credit there, you passed it, you're not allowed to take it again here at Loyola because you've already earned transfer credit for that course. If you do take a course that you've already earned credit for, it will be noted on your transcript as an unauthorized repeat of that course, and you will not earn any credit hours for that course. So just keep that in mind as you're searching for courses. If you're ever in doubt whether a course that you want to take here at Loyola is the same as something that you've previously taken, consult your academic advisor, and they'll be able to review that course with you and let you know whether or not the course that you're going to take here is the same as something you've already transferred in. Dual enrollment while attending Loyola is not permitted. So if you're once you're here at Loyola this fall, you're a Rambler, and so you're not allowed to be registered for courses at another institution during the fall and spring terms. We do make some exceptions for students during the summer who need to take courses elsewhere if the courses aren't offered here and they're required for the program. But otherwise, you're not allowed to be enrolled at other institutions while you're here during the fall and spring terms. I see a hand over here. Do you have a question? Sure. So you're taking a certificate at a different institution that you want to take? Okay. Consult your academic advisor about what you need to do in order to complete that program if you're trying to complete that concurrently with your degree requirements here. Okay. Other questions? A couple of important dates and just some things about this afternoon. So this afternoon, you'll be meeting with the students. All the students raise their hands? Yep, okay. Students will be meeting with their academic advisors this afternoon. I know a lot of you have brought families and members of your families and guests with you, and we have waiting areas for those families and guests. But students will be meeting with an academic advisor this afternoon to review transfer credit, as well as make some recommendations for this fall semester. After you meet with that academic advisor, you'll walk to a computer registration area, and one of our orientation leaders will guide you through the process of registering for your classes for the fall semester. Today is when registration opens for you. It opens this afternoon, and registration access will remain open until the end of the first week of classes. Okay, so you can start registering today, and then you have the entire rest of the summer to add classes to your schedule for this fall semester. First day of classes is Monday, August 26th. The last day of being able to add classes to your fall schedule this year is Tuesday, September 3rd. Okay, so that's the day after Labor Day. So that week, first day of classes, Monday, August 26th through Tuesday, September 3rd, is considered our late registration period. You should be registering for classes prior to then, but you can register and add and drop classes up through Tuesday, September 3rd. Okay, so that's important to note for your calendar. After September 3rd, you can only withdraw from classes for the fall semester. You may no longer add courses to your schedule. So here's what's important. How many of you are familiar with Locus, which is our online system for registering and checking your bills and things like that? Great. So all your courses that you want to be registered for the fall semester must be officially registered in Locus on your schedule by the end of the day on September 3rd, okay, in order for it to be, for registration to be valid for that semester. After September 3rd, you may only withdraw from courses. You have until Friday, November 1st to withdraw from courses with a W grade, which indicates a withdrawal on your transcript. Okay? After Friday, November 1st, students who need to withdraw from courses must work with an academic advisor to withdraw from those courses, and you actually receive a WF grade, which counts as an F on your transcript. Okay? So that's another important deadline for our students, is Friday, November 1st, which is the end of the 10th week of the semester, is the last day to withdraw from courses with a W grade, which doesn't affect your GPA, but appears in your transcript as a withdrawal. Then after that, it's a WF grade. The schedule's the same for each semester. It's always that first week is late registration, and students can add and drop classes during that first week. Through the 10th week, students can withdraw with a W grade, and then after the 10th week, students receive a WF grade for withdrawals. Okay, so that's the same for every fall and spring term. Our final exam schedule, again, is set years in advance, so you can check this fall's and next spring's and next fall's final exam schedule. But this year, this fall, our final exams take place between December 9th and December 17th. For those of you who are going to a great vacation and make a flight plan for December 16th and find out that you have a final exam on December 17th, guess what you have to do? change your flight. So we will not change final exam schedules because of your vacation plans. So make sure you keep that in mind as you're making your plans for the holidays or the winter break. Our final exams end on December 17th, so make sure you have that in your calendar in terms of making plans. Right? And then registration for spring semester will take place November 4th through 8th, and that will take place mid-November. And we encourage our students to meet with academic advisors prior to that so they can get advising for spring semester courses. It's not required for you to meet with an advisor, but it's definitely helpful for our students who meet with an advisor and start planning out their semesters. Do you have any questions about the schedule or calendar or anything about advising? Yeah, the question was, during today's advising, do we do a 4-year plan? And actually, because our advising appointments are only for about 40 minutes today with the advisor, we're here spending time with you reviewing your transfer credit and making plans for this fall. So we won't make a full 4-year plan for this semester. What we encourage our students to do is set up an appointment for this fall with an academic advisor to actually talk about that 4-year plan. But that's a great thing. A lot of our students don't do that, and we encourage our students to come meet with advisors to talk about what their plans are for the next several years. But today we're focused on the fall semester and make sure you get set up for this fall. So the question was, if you've already taken language coursework at a previous institution and want to continue with that language course or that language, do you need to take a language competency exam? You don't have to take the competency exam. The competency exam is only for students who want to be waived from the requirement completely. If you've transferred coursework in languages at the 102 level or higher, that will meet our college or school of communication requirement. But you're always welcome, and we encourage this of all of our students, to continue with language coursework if you'd like to. And so if you need to know where you place, you can consult a faculty member in that department to say, I've taken these courses. You'll likely be allowed to just take the next course in the sequence. But for some languages where you don't have you haven't taken college level coursework, but you have some experience in it, we do have faculty members who will assist students with placing them in the right level. Other questions? Yeah. That is a great question. So the question was, are the foundational Tier 1 courses prerequisites and required before you take a Tier 2 course? The system that we have here for Tier 1, Tier 2 courses was set up for our brand new freshman students this past year. And so with our incoming transfer students, because of your experiences with college coursework, we do not require the foundational Tier 1 course. Okay? So just keep that in mind. As you're searching for classes, you're not required to take a foundational Tier 1 course, but you may take a foundational Tier 1 course if you choose to. Okay? So for an area that requires a foundational course and a Tier 2 course, as a transfer student, you may choose 2 Tier 2 courses. You may choose a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 course. It just depends on what you're interested in terms of the courses. So you're not required to take the foundational course, but you may if you would like to. I saw a hand over there. That's correct. So the foundational course does count toward your core credit hours. Okay. The other handout that you received is a white handout. It talks about advisor assignments. This applies to students in the College of Arts and Sciences. Students in the College of Arts and Sciences will have a primary academic advisor within the College of Arts and Sciences Dean's Office. You will also have a faculty advisor within your major department. And so as soon as you get settled on campus this fall, stop by your major department and request to be assigned to a faculty advisor. And so a student in the College of Arts and Sciences will always have 2 advisors. A primary advisor in the College of Arts and Sciences Dean's Office, as well as a faculty member who serves as an advisor in that major department. Okay. And your advisor assignment for the College of Arts and Sciences and the School of Communication will be posted in Locus within this summer, as soon as we get everything all settled. All right. If there are no other questions, we are excited to welcome you to Loyola. We hope you have the great rest of the day. And if you have any questions,